Welcome to Grand Rock Warehouse, and tonight I want to welcome BM Boldt and Anthony Ferraro to the show. We are continuing our Frank Zappa series tonight with the Zappa Family Trust release of Philly, 1976. So let's get started. Let's look at
Grant is changing the world one track at a time on Grant's Rock Warehouse.
Up to a mile.
All right. Holy crap. We are live and we are playing some Zappa. We're playing Philly 1976. I want to welcome the panel tonight. We've got BM Boldt. We've got Anthony Ferraro here. And we're just going to talk a little bit about this record. Gentlemen, how are you tonight? I figured we would just start out and have a little dirty love as we start out this program. So how is the panel tonight?
Good.
Thanks for having me on, Grant.
Of course, Anthony. For God's sakes, why would I not have you on? Byron,
Eddie Jobson, got to have him on.
It's Eddie Jobson. Yeah, but Byron is questionable, but you are always a given.
Oh, but Byron's got the stuff.
Oh, he does have the stuff.
He's got Theme of Secrets, so that's he's got to be a Jobson fan.
Bernie though has a comment. He says, "I haven't had some dirty love in way too long." But what do these gentlemen know about Frank Zappa? I have no idea. Logan, aren't you supposed to be in bed? I mean, you're up way past your bedtime.
Yeah, so that Theme of Secrets really reminds me a lot of the O'Hearn albums from the same period on the same label.
But Peter Baumann didn't produce those, did he?
I think Yeah, I think they're all on the same label and all produced by Bauman for the most part.
Oh, wow. Interesting. I didn't know that.
Those O'Hearn albums are pretty damn good.
Oh, okay. I'll have to check them out then. Damn you, Byron.
I know. He makes you spend money.
There's that same kind of new age, real clean sound.
The Theme of Secrets is pretty special, though.
I think you'll like the O'Hearns if you like that.
All right, I'll check them out.
That's what we're here. We're here talking music. Hopefully we can turn you on to stuff. So this is a Family Trust reissue that came out, 2009?
Yeah, 2009.
And Philly 76, it was recorded at the Spectrum in Philadelphia, October 29th, 1976. Now this...
Right before Zoodalores came out, like a week before Zoodalores came out.
Correct. Byron and I looked at that Live in New York concert there 5 days ago, but this is a totally different animal. So you got Frank in the band. You've got Bianca Odin, who Frank, what does he call her? Lady Bianca?
Yeah, Lady Bianca.
So she's like vocals and keyboards, and I don't really know what her background is. Do you, either of you gentlemen, know how she got
I never
involved?
really did any research on her. I just know that she's got one hell of a powerful voice. I know that.
And it kind of changes this whole record around, because if you compare this to Live in New York, it's like, well, there's that, but this is like a whole other animal. And you got Ray White, he's still here. You got Eddie, you've got Patrick O'Haron, which has some phenomenal bass parts on this record. And of course, Terry Bozzio, which does an awful lot. So this has got like 2 hours of music. You know, it mixes a lot of different kind of things. Of course, you mentioned like Zoot Allures is going to be released soon. So there's there's some tracks from here. But this is the thing. This is like the only known live performance of Lady Bianca, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Byron. Byron's got more to it.
If you have the Erie box set, there's like 3 or 4 shows on there. One of the shows she's on.
Oh, okay.
So, and I don't have that. So, but I think I've listened to it once. I think I streamed it. But but that's it. This was the first thing that she really ever played on that got released. Although there was like I think Wind Up Working in a Gas Station. I think there was a version of that with her on You Can't Do That on Stage Volume 6. I'd read. but I don't think you really notice her on it. She's just playing.
But you know what I find odd? For as little of this as she's represented, and you can tell when you listen to this album that Frank really digs her.
Oh, yeah.
He's into it. He just loves what she's doing. And it adds a whole other, how do I want to put it? It adds a whole other spectrum to the whole Zappa experience. Because for what he likes her, she's great. She sings well. But think about the amount of rehearsal it would take. And she only makes so many appearances. I don't know why she was just like a blip and left. Because obviously Frank loved it. I don't know. Anybody else know?
I got a lot of notes here.
All right. Good.
I'll go over. Well, she was only in the band for about a month, and she left around November 15th. I had read. She also brought, I think, Ray to the band. I think they both joined about the same time.
Okay.
And it was weird because Frank had never had a female singer in the band before this. He had like the iCats on the albums doing backing, but
you mean like the iCats?
Yeah, the iCats. They were on, I think, Overnight Sensation and
we talked about that. Yeah.
But it's kind of interesting on this album because usually there are female parts in the songs, but guys are singing them because they didn't have a girl. But on this album, we get to hear a girl singing parts that were written really for a girl. But I think I had read she was come from a kind of a gospel upbringing and church stuff, and she was kind of uncomfortable with some of the lyrics that she had to sing, but she did it anyway. But there were a lot of jerks in the audience that would, make crude remarks to her, and she got kind of tired of dealing with them. And Frank, I think, kind of pushed her a little bit more than she probably was comfortable with too, and eventually she just left.
Well, It's funny you should say that though, because when you listen to the tracks on here, she seems totally at ease and comfortable. It's like she's been playing with the band for a long time, the way I hear it.
Oh yeah, her voice is just amazing.
Jesus. I would have loved to have seen what they could have done if they would have kept going. And the funny thing is, I do want to give props to the Zappa Family Trust for releasing this. I want to thank Anthony for bringing this record up.
I would love video footage of this, but I don't think it exists.
Yeah.
I would give anything just for any video footage of Jobson playing with Zappa on stage. I've seen pictures, but that's about it.
Now we're going to play another
let's back up.
Okay, go ahead.
You watched the Saturday Night Live episode?
Well, yeah, I've seen that a million times. But I would like to see like a live. I would like to see. I've seen pictures of live actually. So that's actually really cool though too, because that was probably like a little bit after this concert. I think that was filmed.
That was in December around Christmas.
Yeah,
which is the same time they did the Zappa in New York shows.
They did Peaches and Regalia.
Right. And
so remind me, was Bianca on the Mike Douglas episode?
No, it was just him.
Just Frank.
With the band. Okay.
With the Mike
well,
Douglas.
we're gonna play another track from here later. Now it's a long track, but man, I love this record so much, and I think this lineup of the band was absolutely magical. That we're gonna play a track off of here in a little bit, just because it's so great.
The Mike Douglas thing is on YouTube as well if you want to watch it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay.
So anyway, it took a long time for this to come out. It came out in 2009 by the Zappa Family Trust. Gail Zappa did liner notes, and I think Lady Bianca also did liner notes. Where's the CD at?
Yeah.
She also did liner notes on this record. So, I mean, this is still available on the Frank Zappa website. So,
on the Bart Coast Well, is that still available? Then that's cool.
Yeah, it's still available, even though it came out in 2009. There's a whole bunch of stuff that came out, after he passed away. But yes, you can still get this. I know I haven't even went to the panel and have them rate it yet. But man, this is killer. I must say, I love it. Because this is the way I look at it. I don't even know how we're going to do this show. I'm going to be all over it. The way I look at it, this CD seems to have a good balance between instrumentation, the band playing, the band stretching their legs, and it also has the element, if anybody's followed around the whole Flo and Eddie shit, I don't like that stuff. There's some of this here, but I think it's represented evenly. And Bianca, there's some Flo and Eddie stuff on here, but she sings those Flo and Eddie parts. And I think it comes across a lot better than what Flo and Eddie ever did. Now, Byron may disagree because he loves that Flo and Eddie stuff.
I don't know I like the Flo and Eddie, actually, their solo stuff.
Well,
really
I don't mind that. I don't like Flo and Eddie in Zappa.
Oh, okay.
Now,
I love the Turtles.
Now, you noticed in the show that he mentions Flo and Eddie, they were supposed to, I think, open.
Yeah, their guitar player died.
Their guitar player had died or something. I don't remember hearing about that, but I'll have to research that sometime.
But I do like this because it's a good balance between shtick and instrumentation and the band. Because this is a killer band, obviously.
The mastering is phenomenal.
This is a 16-track recording off the board, and the sound quality on this issue is. I'm just surprised. You know what? I'm just surprised that it took so long for this to come out. Because you would have thought that Frank would have saw this back in the day and realized, man, we should put this out. Give this to Warner Brothers for my contract.
He's got too much stuff to put out.
I mean, the vault is the vault.
But
too much stuff.
Anyway, let's talk about some tracks real quick. I've talked enough. Byron or Anthony, either one of you, is there anything? Okay, there's a lot on this record because it's over 2 hours long. Are there any key tracks on here for you that you just listen to this record and go, holy shit?
Well, I mean,
go ahead, Anthony. Go ahead.
As a big Jobson, lover, he adds to like with the Black Napkins, he adds that violin. It's just so tasty, like he did with some of the live Tall stuff. City of Tiny Lights with Ray White I think it's phenomenal. I mean, I love Blue, but this version kind of smokes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Ray White, I must say, is just killer on this too. I cannot. This is like one of my favorite live Zappa releases so far. I swear to God. I know Byron likes Live in New York because it's got, it's
got a bunch of horns, but you don't have any horns on this.
No horns on here.
You don't have Bianca on New York. But you also got Don Pardo. You've got Illinois Enema Bandit. You got Punky's Whips. I mean, but this has some stuff that's not on there as well. So there's some trade-offs.
I mean, really, I like Punky's Whips, but I can let it go because of the greatness here. All right. This is what I'm going to do. I think we're going to play another track because Anthony did mention Black Napkins. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a long track, but I think it's something that really represents this record. And Byron's smiling. I don't care, but this is the greatness because you've got Eddie's violin on here. You've got Bianca's vocalizations on here that just take this track to another level. Let's just listen to this. I want to hear what everybody thinks.
Now we have a song for lovers only. Pay close attention to this. This is selection number 2 on side 1 of the album. We hope that you'll enjoy it. Oh, and another thing. I did the Mike Douglas show yesterday and got a chance, and it's going to be on November the 10th. And I got a chance to play this song. I played this song with Mike Douglas's studio orchestra. The name of this song is Black Napkins.
Let me do it one more time. Oh, by the way, thank you very much.
Here we go.
Brace yourselves. So freaking good. Oh boy, here we go.
I don't own LP too. Also.
But do you have the promo poster, Byron?
Yeah, autograph.
No, you don't.
You can just feel the energy in the crowd, Grant. I mean, it's just amazing.
100%. I think this is the Spectrum, isn't it?
Yeah, Spectrum. I was 6 years old.
He's just a baby. It could be. It kind of sounds like it. feels like it was recorded yesterday.
And to continue now.
All right, so there you go. 18 minutes of pure sonic bliss as far as I'm concerned. Gentlemen, thoughts on that? Byron, what's your thoughts?
Too long.
Too long. You're too old. Come on, man. Everybody dug it.
I thought it was one of the better tracks on the entire set, to be honest with you. Some great solo in there.
Anthony, thoughts?
I mean, you can't even compare it to the studio version. I mean, with Jobson's violin and, O'Hearn's bass is pretty prominent in that song too. I mean, it's just Frank just going off.
Mm-hmm.
The drumming was top notch too. I don't know.
I've never heard of the drummer, but he was pretty good.
Yeah, he was doing pretty good.
Yeah, he was pretty good.
The Zoot Allures version is way too short. I think we commented on that when we were talking about that album. It's too short.
Well, someone made a comment that I think any version of this is good.
Yeah, I haven't heard a bad one.
No, I haven't heard a bad one. So anyway, I don't know. Let's look at what time is it? We've been 37 minutes. I know we played a lot of music here. We haven't talked a lot, but I think a lot when you're doing this type of show, and this is such a great record. I think us playing a couple of tracks, the music speaks for itself. Is there any other tracks on here you would recommend? I mean, how does this compare? Like, if you guys are listening to Live in New York, Byron already kind of touched on it, but I mean, I think if you're a Zappa completist, you probably need both Live in New York and the Philly show because they're both really two different animals. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you one thing though. I think the live version of This Torture Never Stops is pretty killer too.
Yeah.
Well, Pat O'Hearn's bass on that, great groove. I'll give it that. The whole thing is kind of slow and groovy. And I think if The Torture Never Stops, I think is well worth. Yeah, you've got Black Napkins, but I think if the Frank Zappa solo on that track is well worth the price of admission. It is smoking.
It's very similar to the Live in New York version too. So they're both good, is what I'm saying. But it's on both of those albums. So what I do like about this thing is there are a lot of duplicate tracks between this and New York, which is kind of nice. There are some, but there's not a lot of overlap, which makes it even better. If it was a bunch of the same tracks, I'd be like, you just probably need one or the other. But there's so many different tracks, it's well worth having.
Yeah.
Especially with the stuff that Bianca sings on. There's things on here that are completely different. Like she does when they do You Didn't Try to Call Me, which was on Freak Out and Cruising with Ruben and the Jets. It's nothing like.
Yeah, Bianca's vocals on there, it takes it to a totally different place.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the Freak Out version, pretty much. Lyrically, yes, but it does not sound similar.
Yeah, wasn't it just more of a piano track too, with her and Ray singing? From what I remember, it was very, very relaxing. Okay, one thing I wanted to comment on was on Chrissy Puke Twice, which is Titties and Beer. There's a second verse on that, which they didn't play very often, or they edited it out because it's on. I think I've heard it on a bootleg and on here, and it's just another verse that never made it to Live in New York and some of the other things that they did later. But that's kind of cool to hear. And then Bianca's kind of singing the role of Chrissy, the girlfriend, which makes it, kind of cool because there's a girl in the song and she's actually doing some singing finally. So,
yeah, it's brilliant.
I like that.
I got to say, I think that this, I know we heard this song a zillion times live, but Dino Home Home on this is pretty smoking too.
Yeah, and once again, you get a girl singing some of the parts.
Yeah.
Kind of like on the studio album, but live, you never had any girls doing any of the singing. So she's
because Ruth Underwood never did any background vocals.
No, not really.
Well, wind up working in a gas station, which is on the upcoming album, Zoot Allures. Bianca just takes that song into another level too, I think.
That's my notes.
I think whatever she seems to do, she just totally takes things into a different realm.
Well, the studio version that wound up working in the gas station too had Davey Moyer singing, and he's got that really high falsetto voice, and you don't have that here, which gives it a very different feel.
It's a different feel.
Especially with her singing too.
Yeah, I love it. We sound like we're all giddy. I don't know. I dig this record quite a bit.
And of course, they have to end the show with the infamous Muffin Man.
Yeah, but I think it's fine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like how it kind of segued from Camarillo Brillo right into that. And
I want to know what you guys think. Trying to grow a chin, which has Terry Bozzio singing on the whole thing. Do you dig that?
Yeah, I mean, for what it is, yeah, it's a typical kind of like satire vocal by Bozzio.
Right. Well, yeah, but I think he does a good job. It doesn't like drive me crazy or anything.
Yeah, at this point, that had never been released as well, and that ended up coming out on Shake Your Booty eventually. This is very similar to the Shake Your Booty.
Yeah, because that was released on the Baby Snakes concert video.
It's on there too. Yeah, right. But
well,
go ahead,
Chris. The titties and beer is on here. It's just retitled Chrissy's Puke Twice. It's on here.
I wanted to comment on What Kind of Girl. Well, they did like a medley of 4 Flo and Eddie period songs on here, which Grant probably prefers these better. Like I think he'd
100% because I can't stand the Flo and Eddie stuff.
Right. So you got Rudy Wants to Buy You a Drink, and then Would You Go All the Way, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. And then What Kind of Girl, which is from the Fillmore show. It's real bluesy. I like it a lot. What's cool about it as well is during the song you've got, and the Fillmore song you've got, I think it's Eddie playing the guy, and I think Flo is playing the groupie. But here you get Frank playing the singer in the band with the big hit single in the charts, and Jack is playing the groupie who wants the singer with the big hit single in the charts. So I thought that was really good to hear.
Sorry, Chris, there's no Big Leg Emma on here. I know that's probably going to wreck your day, but it's not on here.
That'd be cool to play here.
It would have worked because they play a lot of different variety. Carmelo Brilla, I like that. I like the whole thing. I wish I could bitch about it, but I think this is like one of the most perfect concert offerings they put out.
Stranded in the Jungle is on here, which
that
has, until this came out in 2009, that had never been released anywhere that I'm aware of. So that was kind of cool. And it's a cover by a band called the Jayhawks from 56. I don't think I'd ever heard any other versions of this track other than Frank's. So, but I know it was covered by a few different bands.
Well, if he didn't love it, he wouldn't have put it on here, you know.
He loved that late 60s R&B doo-wop stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. This doesn't sound like a doo-wop song at all. More R&B, I suppose, but it's a pretty cool song.
Again, I wish I could find fault in this, but I can't. Anybody else have anything you want to add before we wrap it up? Because we're giving this a glowing review as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I'll ask you guys what you would rate this out of 10. Might as well ask that. Actually, I will ask everybody in the chat, if you've heard this record, how would you rate this out of 10? I mean, we could take a tally and, I don't know. If you know it, I don't think everybody in the chat knows it, but
I think that's going to be.
I think a lot of people are going to discover it now too, though.
Yeah. Right. Well, what would you rate this? Go ahead, Byron.
People don't have a lot of history with these posthumous releases. You know,
there's tons. There's what? There's at least 15 to 20 of them.
I agree with my homeboy Gary Joyce. I give it a solid 9 also.
Okay.
I'm going 8. It could go higher, but I'm going 8.
Okay, hold on. So what did Gary give it, a 9? Okay, let me put this on the other screen. I can't do all this. Okay. So, we got Gary got a 9. We've got a 9 from Anthony. Byron, you're giving it a what, an 8?
I give it an 8.
Okay. I'm going to give it a damn 10. I think it's beautiful. I freaking love it. Okay.
I think he gave Live in New York a 7.
This is way better than Live in New York because it's an equal balance of shtick and just awesome musicianship. Because you get enough of listen to. There's enough on here that the band stretches out. You can hear them play. It's not all about this, immature shtick. I only can take so much.
I view these posthumous albums differently because they came out after the fact. And maybe if this had come out 40 years prior, 30, 40 years prior, I'd probably think higher of it.
Why would that affect the way you look at it though?
Because
Frank didn't put it out.
Because when Zappa in New York came out, most of those songs had never been heard before. At least half of them were here by the time this came out. I knew every song on here but one. So it was like, it's just a live album of songs I already know. So I'm kind of biased against it.
But
that makes sense.
Yeah, but this has Bianca on it.
But it has this guy right here.
And Eddie Jobson on it.
Yeah,
because there's a lot more Eddie Jobson on here than on Live in New York.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
Anthony? 100%.
But it's just the way it is.
Well, I think it's great. All right, I got a lot of these. Anybody else want to weigh in on the rating out of 10 here in the chat?
One thing about Jobson is when he called it going to the school of Zappa, and I guess on an interview with Night Flight, which you can check on YouTube from like 1983 when he just released the Green album, he told Frank, he said, I promise to stay with you for a year. I won't quit, and just as long as you won't fire me.
Well, how could you fire Eddie? Jesus
that's
Christ.
He said, I promise not to quit as long as you don't promise not to fire me.
And didn't you say that he was like 21 on this?
21, yeah, because he was
21.
Yeah, his first on the Curved Air Air Cut album from '73. He's 18, right out of high school. He was a prodigy.
He was a prodigy, no doubt. But his keyboard abilities, obviously his violin abilities, holy shit. So how old was Terry on this when he was
26?
Doing this? He was 26.
Yeah. Because
Terry still looks like a kid on here. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Raw talent. Well put, Gary Joyce. All right, so if no one else has to weigh in on the rating of this, all right, I'm just going to calculate it. And we come up with a 9.38. So I would say that if we're going to recommend this record, I'd say definitely go out and get this if you want an experience. Because
I'm surprised that the Zappa shop still has these because it's from 2009.
Yep, still in print, ladies and gentlemen. So get yours today. All right, we can wrap this dog up. Anybody else? Does the panel have anything else to say before we wrap it up?
I was when they said that they were going to release this, I was pretty pumped because I was like, this is the show I'm probably going to want. And then when I saw the track listing and I saw Black Napkins 18 minutes long, I thought this could be pretty special. And it's pretty special.
Yeah. Byron, anything else before we wrap it up?
No, not that I can think of.
All right. Well, there you go. I want to thank the panel tonight. Yeah, this show is a little bit different. We played some music. We kept it loose, but I think you got the idea.
I think our audience enjoyed listening to the music.
Excellent. I think you're picking up what we're putting down. I want to thank Byron. I want to thank Anthony for tonight. Go out. Please do yourself a favor. Go check out Philly 76. Please support the Zappa Family Trust. Go make a purchase. Buy it new. It's still in print. I mean, all we're here to do is to turn you on to music. And man, how long are we into this Byron and the Zappa series? This is show 24.
Over 2 years now.
Yeah. Please do yourself a favor and check this out. So, thanks, Bernie. Appreciate it. Listening part. Well, I didn't know this was going to be a listening party. It's kind of a hybrid. But, I love the listening party, and I don't care if I can't monetize it. I'm not here for that. So, DC says the music being played adds a lot. Well, it kind of does, kind of.
Plus, they don't have to listen to me talk, so that's a
no, Anthony. We love you on this show. So anyway, anything else Anthony? Anything coming up for you on Sea of Tranquility?
Yeah, we're doing.
What's coming up?
Yeah, we're doing. We're looking back. We're going to go back to Fly By Night and Crest of Steel. We're going to kind of compare those two albums.
All right, cool. Byron, anything coming up for you in the warehouse?
Let's see here. Well, we've got Steve Stevens' Atomic Playboys coming up in about a week and a half.
And, so that'll be on the One and Done show. So we're looking at it's kind of a gray area. Is that a Stevens solo album? Is it not?
It's a band.
It's a band, but we're going to take a look at that in about a week and a half.
You know who Steve Stevens' idol is?
Eddie Jobson.
No, Steve Howe. He's a huge Steve Howe fan. He loves I think Fragile's his favorite record ever.
The Waxed is in the chat, and he has a lot coming up. Awesome, Waxed. I thought we were supposed to do some kind of show. You reached out to me about some show. I never heard anything back, but we do have some things coming up. So anyway, Webb, nice to see you. Al, nice to see you. I want to thank everybody. We can keep this under an hour. It's good. So please subscribe if you haven't. Please let us know in the comments what you think of this record. And we'll see you on the next one. All right, everybody, keep it clean and Rap the Rascal.
Thanks, Grant.